Have you ever woken from a deep, dreamless sleep and said, "I slept so well"? Think about that for a moment. If you were completely unconscious, how could you know you slept peacefully? Who experienced that peace? And perhaps the greatest mystery of all, where did your awareness go while the world disappeared? This question has fascinated philosophers, neuroscientists, and spiritual masters for thousands of years. Yet one Indian sage gave an answer so simple, yet so profound, that it continues to transform seekers around the world. His name was Ramana Maharshi, and according to him, awareness never actually goes anywhere. Let's explore why. Ramana Maharshi was born in 1879 in South India. At just 16 years old, he underwent what he later described as a spontaneous experience of ego death. Believing he was about to die, he turned his attention inward and asked a question that would define the rest of his life: who am I? Rather than searching for an intellectual answer, he investigated the very source of the one asking the question. What he discovered became the foundation of his teaching. Our true self is pure awareness, untouched by birth, death, waking, dreaming, or deep sleep. For the remaining 50 years of his life at Arunachala, seekers from every corner of the world came to hear his remarkably direct teaching. And one question appeared again and again: what happens during deep sleep? Most of us divide life into three states: the waking state, the dream state, and deep, dreamless sleep. In the waking state, there is a world, a body, thoughts, responsibilities, memories, and emotions. In dreams, another world appears, complete with its own people and events. But in deep sleep, everything seems to vanish. No body, no thoughts, no time, no world. From the ordinary perspective, awareness appears to disappear entirely. But Ramana challenged this assumption. He asked a simple question: if awareness truly vanished, who knows that sleep was peaceful? After all, no one wakes up saying, "I have no idea whether I slept." Instead, we naturally report, "I slept deeply," or "I knew nothing." According to Ramana, these statements reveal something remarkable. Someone remained. To understand this, Ramana distinguished between consciousness and mental activity. Modern life often treats thinking as proof of consciousness. If thoughts stop, we assume consciousness has stopped as well. Ramana disagreed. Thoughts are like waves on the ocean. Awareness is the ocean itself. When the waves become still, the ocean does not disappear. It simply rests in its natural state. During deep sleep, the mind becomes inactive. Memories, perceptions, and personal identity temporarily dissolve. But awareness itself does not cease. Only the instruments that produce thoughts fall silent. This distinction is one of the central insights of Advaita Vedanta, the ancient non-dual tradition that deeply influenced Ramana's teaching. Imagine the sun hidden behind thick clouds. Someone standing below might say the sun has disappeared. But has it? Of course not. Only the clouds prevent it from being seen. Ramana used similar illustrations. The self is like the sun. The mind is like passing clouds. When thoughts dominate, awareness seems hidden. When thoughts disappear in deep sleep, awareness remains, even though there are no mental objects to illuminate. Ironically, the absence of thought does not destroy awareness. It reveals that awareness exists independently of thought. At this point, many people ask an obvious question: if awareness remains during deep sleep, why don't I remember it? Ramana's answer was subtle. Memory belongs to the mind. During deep sleep, the mind is inactive. Since there is no active mind to record experiences, there is no memory to retrieve upon waking. This is similar to switching off a camera. The landscape remains exactly as it is, but no photographs are taken. The absence of pictures does not mean the landscape vanished. Likewise, awareness remains, but the recording mechanism is temporarily absent. Interestingly, modern neuroscience has also discovered that deep sleep is not simply nothing. During slow-wave sleep, the brain remains highly active in essential functions. It regulates hormones, consolidates memories, repairs tissues, strengthens immunity, and restores energy. Although science describes these processes in biological terms rather than spiritual ones, it confirms that profound activity continues even when conscious thinking is absent. Ramana, however, was pointing towards something even deeper than brain activity. He was asking us to investigate the nature of the one who knows every changing state. This leads to one of his most famous teachings. The waking person changes. The dream character changes. The sleeping mind disappears. Yet something is constant throughout all three. That constant is the true self. Ramana encouraged seekers not to identify with temporary experiences, but with the silent witness that never changes. He often asked visitors,
"Are you present only when thinking?"
The obvious answer is no. Thoughts come and go. Emotions rise and fall. The body ages. Dreams appear and vanish. Sleep comes every night. Yet the fundamental sense of existence, the simple feeling of I am, remains at the root of every experience. His practice of self-inquiry was designed to help people discover this directly. Rather than trying to create mystical experiences, Ramana advised asking,
"To whom does this thought arise?"
The answer naturally comes, to me. Then he encouraged a second question, who am I? Instead of following thoughts outward into the world, attention turns inward toward their source. With sincere practice, thoughts gradually lose their power, and awareness begins resting in itself. Ramana believed this conscious resting resembles the peace found naturally in deep sleep, but with one extraordinary difference. You remain fully awake. This is sometimes described in Advaita as the fourth state, or Turiya. Not a separate state alongside waking, dreaming, and sleeping, but the ever-present reality underlying all three. For Ramana, enlightenment was not entering a special condition. It was recognizing what has always been present. He once remarked that everyone experiences happiness in deep sleep because the ego temporarily subsides. The problem is that we enter this peace unconsciously. Upon waking, the mind immediately returns, carrying worries, desires, fears, and endless identification. Self-realization means recognizing that same peace while fully conscious. Nothing new is created, only ignorance falls away. This teaching explains why so many spiritual traditions value silence. Silence is not merely the absence of sound. It is the background in which all experiences appear. Words arise within it. Thoughts arise within it. Dreams arise within it. Even the sense of being an individual arises within it. And when all these disappear, silence remains. Ramana himself often taught more through silence than through speech. Visitors described sitting before him and feeling an extraordinary stillness without a single word being spoken. To him, silence was the highest teaching because it pointed directly to the reality beyond concepts. So, where does your awareness go during deep sleep? According to Ramana Maharshi, it goes nowhere. The mind rests. The ego disappears. Thoughts become still. But awareness itself remains exactly as it always has. The real question, then, is not where awareness goes during sleep. The deeper question is this: who is aware right now? If that question is followed with sincerity, not merely answered with words, but investigated through direct experience, it may reveal what Ramana spent his entire life pointing toward. The peace you search for is not hidden somewhere beyond the stars. It is not waiting in the future. It has never left you. Every night, in the stillness of dreamless sleep, you unknowingly touch a reflection of it. Ramana's invitation was simple yet revolutionary. Discover that same limitless awareness while awake. Because when you recognize the one who witnesses waking, dreaming, and deep sleep alike, you may discover that your true nature has never been asleep at all.